The Nigerian constitution stipulates a review of the national minimum wage every 5 years. The last review was in 2019 from 18,000 naira to 30,000 naira. With the current national minimum wage due this year, the organized labor has been relentless in pushing for a new national minimum wage, and government at the federal and state levels have initiated moves in this direction. Both Edo and Lagos state governments have announced its 70,000 naira state minimum wage. On its own part, the federal government inaugurated a 37-member tripartite committee on national minimum wage, chaired by Bukagoni Aji, a former head of service of the Federation. The committee is also made up of representatives from relevant government organizations, the organized labor, and the organized private sector.
The minimum wage represents the least amount of compensation an employee should receive for their labor, and as such, it should be rooted in social justice and equity. I hope that the results of your deliberations will be consensual and acceptable to all parties involved. The government's decision, following the consideration of your final recommendations, will be presented as an executive bill to the National Assembly.
Negotiations have been on, where government takes a look at the national income and provision of safety nets for all Nigerians, especially the most vulnerable, before taking a stand. The organized labor is keen on what is sustainable for the Nigerian workers with current economic realities. But a few days ago, the organized labor dumped the minimum wage negotiation meeting, blaming the government and the organized private sector of presenting unreasonable proposals. He says the government offer of 48,000 naira and the 54,000 naira the organized private sector proposed completely fell short of the 615,000 naira the workers are demanding.
Okay, you want us to now say there will be no medical allowance, or there will be no housing, or there will be no transport. So they have not even provided the basis. You just say 48, and we say, what is this 48 for? And they are not ready to talk.
During the 2024 International Workers' Day celebration, the union leaders gave government up to May 31st to make an acceptable pronouncement on the new national minimum wage or face industrial action. Even as the tripartite committee has agreed to resume negotiation, it seems time is running out with less than 2 weeks to the deadline. The question is how fast will the negotiation parties shift ground to come up with a reasonable and acceptable amount that will meet the needs and aspirations of Nigerian workers. And not to forget, President Bola Tinubu has on many occasions promised Nigerian workers a national living wage. This was re-echoed by the Vice President Kashim Shettima on May 1st. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria will dig into the new national minimum wage saga and profile a balance on what should be acceptable to all.